provide more money to the small and medium-sized businesses across the country, the hairdressers, the mechanics, and all the other small businesses that form the backbone of the Australian economy. And finally, they are increasing the interest paid on exchange settlements. Now, all of these measures, as I said, are designed to do two things: to decrease the cost of credit and to increase its flow. As the Prime Minister referred to today, the government has also acted by allocating up to $15 billion to invest in residential mortgage-backed securities as together with other asset-backed securities. This action, again, in concert with the Reserve Bank of Australia, is totally complementary to what they are doing because it ensures that some of the non-bank lenders are getting support to provide extra finance to the SME sector. This is a very volatile time in global equity, debt and credit markets, but Australians can be reassured that our financial system remains well capitalised and strong. It was referred to today by the Reserve Bank Governor in his statement. The Australian financial system remains strong, but the measures announced by the Morrison government today and the Reserve Bank and the Prudential Regulator will even enhance this strength further.
Thank you, George. Questions? Yeah. Well, let me make one point, and then Josh, I'm sure, will make further points. Now, and already what we decided just over a week ago was through the measure that would enable small businesses to get access up to $25,000 in grants. That will support their small business cash flow, and in the case you're talking about, that business would certainly have eligibility when it comes to those payments, and that always can assist. That's not going to cover all the bills, we understand that, but it is going to go some way to provide some assistance because that payment is actually linked to how many people they employ, ultimately, because it's done through the BAS. What today's announcements do is actually making sure that the banks themselves are in a position to get access to money at a lower cost, which means they're going to be in a better position and stronger position to be supporting small and medium-sized businesses in particular around the country. What they've said today to the banks is, we're going to let you get money at a much lower cost, and you know if you go and help and support small business, you'll be able to get more money at a lower cost. When the banks can get it at a lower cost, then obviously that's good for those who are in a position to seek it. Now, not every business is going to be in that situation, and we will have more to say about the broader measures that we want to put in place to cushion the blow and to support small business and to support individuals directly impacted by the coronavirus's economic impacts. Josh.
Well, thanks, Prime Minister. Well, the interests of small business and the banks are aligned. The banks want their customers to be there on the other side of this, and the small businesses want to survive and get through this, and they want to continue to provide jobs to the millions of Australians that they employ. So the banks are working with their small business customers to ensure that that money is available. What today's announcement makes clear is more money will now be available to the banks to lend. And the best illustration of the significance of today's announcement is that the Commonwealth Bank has announced a reduction of a full percentage point in their small business lending rates. A full percentage point. Now, the Reserve Bank has only reduced the cash rate, while significant, by 1/4 percentage point. Commonwealth Bank has gone 4 times bigger than that today with small business lending, and that's a direct result out of the announcements today.
Okay. Treasurer Josh Frydenberg live from Canberra there alongside the Prime Minister as they discuss the latest impacts of COVID-19 and the federal government's attempts to throw a safety net around the Australian economy. A lot of talk about building a bridge to get Australians across. Let's go back to political editor Mark Riley for his reaction and analysis. Mark, a lot of talk about the economy, but I guess the standout there was Fortress Australia, a major development, all non-residents banned from entering this country.
Yeah, that's right, Mark. Building a bridge for Australians to get across and at the same time building a fence to keep non-residents out. Closing the borders effectively to all non-residents from 9 p.m. tomorrow night. A stepped move. Of course, the Prime Minister yesterday announced that the government was recommending against all international travel. Well, now this is a blanket ban on non-residents entering Australia. So really, Australia, along with a lot of other countries now, is isolating itself from the world to try and prevent the further spread of the COVID virus throughout our society by preventing it coming through the border. All cases of this virus have come from overseas, all emanating from China. So people on international flights have been bringing it in, and that is a stepped move. As I say, the Prime Minister has said from the outset that he would be making announcements gradually in response proportionately to the advice that was coming from the health professionals, and obviously that advice is ratcheting up fairly quickly. Also there you heard from the Treasurer about the unusual move by the Reserve Bank today, engaging in what's called quantitative easing, that is effectively printing money to buy government bonds to assure liquidity. What does all that mean for the average person? It means that it keeps the banking system afloat and encourages the banks to lend more money to small businesses that might be on the brink, and also to people perhaps take a more sympathetic attitude towards those people who are struggling with their mortgages. So the big move, though, is that decision today to ban all non-residents from coming into Australia from 9 p.m. tomorrow night. That allows flights that are in the air now and flights that are about to take off from airports around the world to continue, but no further flights from effectively tomorrow morning coming into Australia, mate.
Yeah, some very big moves in some very uncertain times. Mark Riley in Canberra, thank you. Now stay with us, we'll have more from the 7 Newsroom in just a moment.
Coronavirus.
Government advice obtained exclusively by 7 News.
In the race to respond, 7 News is the one news service separating facts from fear.
We can reveal dozens of Australians are stranded.
The group most likely to be hit is women in their 30s.
Don't go overseas.
Financial contagion is now spreading faster than the virus itself.
7 News is your best and most definitive source to help you prepare. Turn to 7 News. This is 7 Sydney Afternoon News with Anne Sanders.
Good afternoon. There have been several major developments on the coronavirus today. As you've just heard, the Prime Minister has extended a travel ban to all non-residents entering the country. That will be in place from tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Global cases of COVID-19 have passed 215,000. New South Wales has recorded 307 people with it. One of those 40 new cases attended an event at Sydney University football ground on Saturday night. Anyone who was there should go into quarantine. Panic buying has spread to pharmacies, and there are now limits on the amount of prescription medicine you can buy. Ventolin and paracetamol are also being limited to 1 unit per person. Tasmania is now enforcing 14 days of quarantine for all non-essential travellers starting tomorrow night. And the Reserve Bank has announced an emergency rate cut. The cash rate is now 0.25%. Meanwhile, the coronavirus continues its march through New South Wales, with a dozen children and teenagers now affected. Chris Marr is at the Rural Fire Service headquarters. Chris, it's been repurposed as the state's virus control centre.
And this is the new nerve centre in the fight against coronavirus in New South Wales. What is normally the control centre for the Rural Fire Service has been handed over to health authorities. And it's from here that the state government will respond to the spread of the virus, implementing containment measures when it can. As of midday today, there are 307 confirmed cases of infection in New South Wales. That's an increase of 40. 70 of those cases are under investigation. Today, an appeal was put out over a rugby event at the University of Sydney involving the University of Queensland on Saturday, the 14th of March. Attendees to that are being advised to self-isolate for 14 days. The government and the health department are maintaining their position on keeping schools open. There has been confirmation today of a 6-year-old who has been infected with the virus.
We're already focusing in a huge way on preparing the health system for the next phase that's likely to occur.
The Premier said that there is evidence that the community is responding to calls for social distancing, maintaining the fact that just 6 people are in intensive care with the virus in New South Wales indicates that the policies currently are working.
If we carry on in that way, we can not only control the spread, but make sure we can continue in this way and provide people the opportunity to move around freely at this stage.
With this room now devoted to responding to a health crisis, the Rural Fire Service says it's already planning contingencies for the start of the next bushfire season, just 3 months away. Of course, there's no guarantee that this virus crisis will be over by then.
Thank you, Chris. Live to Tim Lester now in Canberra. Good afternoon, Tim. The Reserve Bank decision this afternoon to reduce interest rates is a rare one indeed.
And in a couple of respects. And first, before today, the bank had not departed from its calendar for reducing interest rates since 1997. Second, rates were already at an historic low before today, 0.5%. They have now been cut to 0.25%. Third, the bank has begun a form of what's called quantitative easing. It is buying government bonds with the aim of lowering the cost of credit and increasing the flow of credit. And fourth, the Reserve is setting up a $90 billion fund to back commercial banks helping small business. It is a major response as alarm bells ring on the health measures needed for coronavirus wiping out businesses.
The actions taken by the Reserve Bank today, I'd simply say we welcome. They are highly aligned, completely synchronised with the actions that we're taking as a government.
Tim, Qantas has announced a giant stand down of its workforce.
2/3 of the workforce of both Qantas and Jetstar, and the staff will be...
Global aviation is probably the hardest sector hit by the coronavirus crisis.
So Qantas and sibling Jetstar have announced a stunning temporary downsizing in a bid to weather the worst of the economic storm.
We are standing down 2/3 of our 30,000 strong workforce from next week.
People are going to be stood down. We're not sure who is and who isn't, in there. So we'll soon know.
What Qantas has done is effectively asked workers to give up their hard-earned leave and future leave to bail out this company.
As well, the airline has followed yesterday's announcement from Virgin Australia, suspending all international flights from the end of the month.
This means we'll have at least 160 aircraft on the ground.
Though the Qantas boss says he's in talks with the government on keeping open some strategic links.
Hopefully it will pick up and go back to normal.
Qantas taking extraordinary measures to protect its business. The fear is that this might just be a forerunner of far wider damage to the economy. Anne?
All right, Tim Lester joining us there live from Canberra. Thank you very much, Tim. We'll take a short break now. You're watching 7's Afternoon News and have more in just a moment.
He stole his brother's wife.
I wanted to tell Ben that we slept together.
Now he's back for one more thing.
It's all becoming clear now why you're here. Money. If he finds out about us,
then we better make sure he doesn't.
Why do you feel like you have to blackmail me?
That's not how this is going to go.
Home and Away, weeknights at 7 on 7. If you're looking for a simple home loan with a great low rate, then walk this way. With a Rams Essential Home Loan, you can enjoy both. Backed by our famous silver service. Rams, greater together.
I'd like a bar of chocolate, please.
Your change.
Happy birthday, Mum.
There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Want an alternative to a cosmetic laser procedure? Try L'Oreal Paris Revitalift Laser Day and Night Cream from Chemist Warehouse. The powerful anti-aging formula with hyaluronic acid and proxylane works to re-densify skin and reduce the appearance of wrinkles in just 4 weeks. L'Oreal Paris Revitalift Laser Day and Night Creams are $22.47 each. Choose L'Oreal, the #1 skincare brand at Chemist Warehouse. Live, look, feel fabulous every day at Chemist Warehouse.
Keithy Turnip's up next. He fires. The ball's nowhere near him. Sucked in, Soap Dodger.
Catch this instead. For NRL this week, lead by 4 points or more at half-time and we'll pay you out straight away. 4 up, you win with Sportsbet.
Always make a good impression.
Connecting Bluetooth.
Or just be yourself. Change the rules. The new look Toyota CHR. Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Get Vodafone NBN with 4G backup. Plans start from just $65 a month. Add more services to your account to save even more. The future is exciting. Ready?
Beat sensitivity pain fast with Sensodyne Rapid Relief, clinically proven relief for just 60 seconds.
Today you have served Vitawing, Crosscuts, Salada and Sayo. Classic! Can I get these to go?
There's no substitute for Arnott's. Return of the
Classic!
The next time you think you can illegally handle your mobile phone while driving and get away with it, think again. Phone detection cameras are in operation on New South Wales roads.
Hello.
So if you're driving and illegally handle your mobile phone, you can stop it or cop it.
Create your home dream with the latest edits from Carpet Court. Play it up with different colour combinations like roller blinds in apple fizz and latest hard floors in white oak. Or you can go Euro style with terrazzo hybrid tiles. Match with luxurious carpet in teal. Carpet Court has all the latest carpet, flooring and blinds matched to this season's must-have edits. So you can live the dream. Carpet Court. Dream it, style it, live it.
Paris is one of the world's most visited cities, but like much of Europe right now, it's suffering through an unprecedented peacetime lockdown. This drone video shows some of the city's famed landmarks with barely anyone on the streets. France overnight reported 89 new deaths from COVID-19, a nearly 20% jump on the previous 24 hours. There's been a huge increase in coronavirus deaths in Europe and the UK, despite more drastic measures aimed at slowing the spread. Alex Hart is in London, where the British government has announced the closure of all schools.
Good morning. Friday afternoon is when this decision will take effect. All schools across the UK closing indefinitely. It is a major change in position for the British Prime Minister Boris Johnson, who until today had insisted that there was no need to close schools.
After schools shut their gates from Friday afternoon, they will remain closed for most pupils, for the vast majority of pupils, until further notice.
Despite more countries in Europe going into lockdown, the death toll from coronavirus continues to rise. Almost 500 more deaths in Italy, the biggest single day jump anywhere. German Chancellor Angela Merkel described the crisis as the biggest challenge her country has faced since World War II.
Countries must isolate, test, treat and trace. If they don't, transmission chains can continue at a low level, then resurge.
Many more major events in Europe and in the UK have been cancelled, among them the Eurovision Song Contest. So too, the royal wedding of Princess Beatrice and her fiancé Edoardo Mopelli-Mozzi. The Queen was due to host a reception for the couple here in the gardens of Buckingham Palace in May, but now they're considering just having a simple private ceremony to avoid any unnecessary risks.
An overnight smash and grab raid at a jewellery store in the heart of the city, in other news today, has seen thieves steal approximately $500,000 worth of gems and gold. Andrew Denny is covering the story. Andrew, the store's owner is shocked at the level of destruction.
Well, the owners here at Germani Jewellery here in Sydney's CBD have had their store virtually destroyed by these brazen thieves who broke in just after 3:15 this morning. The men were captured on the George Street store's security cameras, pulling up in a stolen car before breaking through the front door and getting to work. Every single display cabinet was smashed and the jewellery inside scooped up. The three thieves were in and out in a little over 3 minutes, taking around $500,000 in precious rings, necklaces, brooches and earrings. Luckily for the owners, most of their more valuable items were secured in the safe, but they're now facing huge losses and a major clean-up.
The worst part was the damage of the shop.
As you can see, they broke all the showcases, the counters, and all this is going to take 2-3 months to replace.
Police say they haven't seen a robbery like this, particularly in such a public part of the city, in quite some time. The car they used had been stolen from a home in Bronte back in January. Its registration is CLB 86H.
It is a particularly sort of heinous crime in that there is a level of planning and no doubt it was an organised crime.
Now, the getaway car was last seen on George Street heading towards the Anzac Bridge. Anyone who might have seen it or the men involved is asked to come forward.
Next in 7's afternoon news, China announces they believe they've developed a coronavirus vaccine. But is it safe? And in sport with Jim Wilson, the NRL and AFL seasons to continue tonight. We've got the very latest next.
Tonight on 7 News with Mark Ferguson.
Emergency rate cut, the RBA's new record low. 20,000 airline workers stood down, and Tasmania self-isolates, the strictest border controls in the country.
Tonight on 7 News at 6.
When all hell breaks loose, you'll thank heaven he's there to solve the case. Father Brown, tonight, 7:30 on 7-2.
Hey, Mom! You've wanted me forever. Carefully planning and preparing, taking your special Forever Mom vitamins. And look what you've created. Me! You're doing an amazing job taking care of us. And every day, I'm growing bigger and stronger.
Forever Mum is a modern prenatal range for mum, dad and baby, nurturing your amazing conceive, carry and care adventure.
I love you forever, Mum.
And I love you forever, Mum.
You might see her miss out on the excursion, but you don't see her parents struggling to make ends meet. You might see her worn-out uniform, but you don't see her hiding because she doesn't fit in. You might see her losing confidence, but you don't know how hard she's trying. For children in poverty, every day can be overwhelming. Amy has almost nothing left to give. Do you? Please sponsor an Australian child today. Search the Smith family.
You're doing great. That's it.
When it comes to having a baby, there's care.
Almost there.
And there's the uncommon care you get with HCF. Now in partnership with Sydney Adventist Hospital.
And now there's 3 of us.
For Australia's first no-gap pregnancy cover. So you get the quality care that's right for you and your family with no out-of-pocket costs. As Australia's largest not-for-profit health fund, we put people before profit. That's uncommon care.
The Trolls are back.
I'm gonna destroy all music, except for rock!
This just got real.
Get ready for the happiest movie ever.
Let's go save the world!
Trolls World Tour.
Harvey Norman biggest ever 5-day sale. This HP Core i5 laptop, $898, save $200. Sony 65-inch 4K TV, hot price, plus bonus Rebel E gift card and delivery and wall mount installation. This Samsung Black Steel fridge, just $11.54. Up to 25% off Australian-made lounges and dining room furniture. Upgrade to a king size for just $1 more on selected Queen mattresses and bed frames. Big brand rail showers from $87. Plus $99 entire home carpet installation. Hurry, sale ends Monday.
Go! Get Vodafone NBN with 4G backup. Plans start from just $65 a month. Add more services to your account to save even more. The future is exciting. Ready?
New Hyundai Venue. Fits in anywhere, stands out everywhere.
Oh, hi, sweetie.
Hi, Mum.
Mars. Enough chocolate to deal with anything.
Oh, it's very good.
China has announced they have no new infections today for the first time since the start of the coronavirus outbreak. They've also just approved clinical trials for a vaccine developed by the nation's military in Wuhan, the epicentre of the pandemic. Chinese state media claims the drug is highly effective and appears to be safe. Trials will now be conducted to confirm whether it can be used on humans without any negative effects. If it passes those tests, we can expect to see the vaccine go into production and be distributed throughout the world. The Australian Olympic Committee has refused to pull out of the Olympics as we edge closer to the Tokyo Games. 7 News Sports editor Jim Wilson is by the harbour where officials spoke this morning. Hello, Jim. They are holding firm.
Yes, they are, Anne. Good afternoon to you. Afternoon, everyone. Just recapping what has been a fairly extraordinary few hours at AOC headquarters, a stone's throw from here in the Rocks in Sydney. Just confirming it's business as usual as far as the Australian Olympic Committee and also the International Olympic Committee as far as Tokyo is concerned. They are saying the Games will proceed on July 24, despite ongoing concerns about the coronavirus pandemic around the world. They also confirmed at that press conference that there will be no postponement of the Games. It's either July 24 it goes ahead in Tokyo or it's scrapped altogether. And they also, we should make the point here, drug testing has been severely impacted. Drug testers can't get access to athletes around the world, and that's raising questions about just how level a playing field it will be in Tokyo. So this is a developing story, and I'll have more in my story and my report in 7 News at 6. Now, in a press conference that's just finished in the other day's sport, the NRL will enforce strict protocols to keep players safe from the coronavirus outbreak. Chairman Peter V'landys says it's necessary to limit contact between players and fans to ensure the league can continue.
It's important because we want to minimise the risk of a player contracting the virus. That is our worst case scenario if a player contracts the virus. Extreme times need extreme measures.
The NRL is looking at a number of options, including playing all games in the one location. Well, South Sydney coach Wayne Bennett believes it's important the NRL continues despite restrictions due to the coronavirus threat. The Rabbitohs and Broncos will play in front of an empty stadium in Brisbane tomorrow, but Bennett isn't worried.
We love crowds there and we love the atmosphere, but I think once the game gets under playing conditions, the instinct will just take over and they'll be doing their best.
Souths and the Broncos are looking for back-to-back wins tomorrow night at Suncorp Stadium in Brisbane. Round 1 in the AFL will go ahead tonight at an empty MCG when Richmond play Carlton. Both Sydney teams are due to play on Saturday as league bosses left it until the last minute to give the green light.
I think it's going to be a long year and our players and our industry want to get moving and while the advice is so clear that it's appropriate for them to play, they want to get started and they know that this is going to be a long journey.
You'll see tonight's game live from the MCG on 7 Mate. And also just some basketball news before I hand back to Anne. That NBL Grand Final Series was the best of 5. The Sydney Kings pulled out. The Perth Wildcats led 2-1 and they've been awarded the title for 2020. Anne will be live to ANZ Stadium at 6 and more on this developing story as far as the Olympic Games go. Back to you.
Good on you, Jim. Thank you very much. Don't go anywhere. Our top stories are just ahead. The Reserve Bank slashes interest rates. We break down what it means for your mortgage and your savings. Why being stuck at home doesn't mean you can't get anything done, from shopping to admin work. Even a gym class will show you how to do it all from your living room. Plus, should you homeschool your child during this time of crisis? And helping the elderly deal with the stress of isolation. That's coming up.
Who will make it to the grand final?
Will we be in the grand final?
Will it be Australia's favourite? Or will the poker player steal their chance to make history?
What a time to bring out the big guns.
Can the Sausage Man be the first to win 2 MKR championships?
That's 10. One of you will be crowned the winners of My Kitchen Rules.
The Super Dinner Party's on My Kitchen Rules, Monday.
At Beacon, we help you live lighter with innovative products that are good for the environment and your wallet. Shop Australia's largest range of energy-saving lights, fans and globes and get 40% off your second item store-wide.
Don't allow mild osteoarthritis pain to hold you back. Get moving again with Voltaren Osteogel 12-hourly from Chemist Warehouse. With just 2 applications a day, it gives you joint pain relief for the whole day and all night. Right now at Chemist Warehouse, Voltaren Osteogel 12-hourly is just $26.99. Feel the joy of movement with Voltaren Osteogel 12-hourly. Live, look, feel well at Chemist Warehouse.
The new look Ranger FX4 with unique grille, 18-inch black alloys, and black sports bar. Catch the special edition Ranger FX4 at your Ford dealer now.
Bread is a part of life, so why not make life poppier, crustier, pumpkinier, down to the very last crumb. Abbott's Village Bakery. Every bit better.
Go big this month at the Stracco Big Sale. Get 72 months interest free with nothing to pay for the first 12 months on Stracco patios, sheds and ambient blinds. Or get a bonus barbecue. T&Cs apply. So, you bring the dream, Stracco will bring the how-to.
Come on, darling, up you up. There's a glass and a half in everyone.
Joe from Victoria chose Beaumonts and got all this for under $9,000. Choose Beaumonts and get a kitchen splashback from just $100. Or tile a huge family room starting from just $899. Choose Beaumonts Mad March specials and save heaps. Beaumonts.
Welcome back, and reminding you of the major breaking news this afternoon. The government has placed a travel ban on all non-residents entering the country, effectively shutting off the country to the world. That will come into effect tomorrow evening. New Zealand has announced a similar measure, its borders shutting at midnight. Those developments came after the Reserve Bank issued an emergency rate cut of 25 basis points. Gemma Acton is here now. Gemma, what's been the reaction to this change this afternoon?
Well, and remember, it was only 16 short days ago that we got the last interest rate cut, even though it does feel like a lifetime. And what we saw then is the banks move very quickly to pass that on in full, almost across the board. We're not seeing the same reaction this time. In fact, we've only seen one bank announce so far, and that's a Commonwealth Bank, saying they're not passing on anything to variable home borrowers. They are passing on a 0.7% basis point drop to fixed home borrowers over 1, 2 and 3 years. When it comes to savings, we generally see that play out over a longer time once the spotlight has moved off the day of the rate decision. Probably what's more important today is the efforts to provide cheap borrowing for businesses, particularly small and medium-sized businesses, and ensure that government borrowing costs also remain low, particularly given they're going to have to fund so much additional stimulus and welfare. Have a listen to what the Prime Minister, Scott Morrison, had to say on that note earlier.
This is a very significant injection to support Australians, to support our economy, to support business, to support jobs, as we all go across on this bridge together to the other side, where on the other side we know that the Australian economy will be stronger, Australians will be healthier, and Australian life can return to what we knew it to be.
Prime Minister speaking a short time ago. Gemma, our poor old Aussie dollar, boy, that's at an 18-year low.
Yes, it is. So what we saw from about January 2018 till a couple of days ago was a slow edging lower in the Aussie dollar against the US dollar. What we've seen in the last 24 or 36 hours is a plunge. It's absolutely fallen off a cliff. Just 2 days ago, we were looking at it above 60 US cents. So to move that far down in the last 24 hours to 55 cents is unprecedented. And what we're seeing here is global fear. When people are scared, they buy US dollars. So it's not just the Aussie dollar that's being sold off, it's also the British pound, it's also the euro. And we could probably expect this to continue for a while longer.
All right, Gemma, good to talk to you. Thank you very much. We've seen more dramatic scenes in supermarkets across Sydney, despite police out in force trying to keep order in our shopping centres. Peter Fegan joins us from Woolworths National Distribution Centre. Peter, no end in sight to the panic buying.
Well, and despite the Prime Minister just yesterday telling the nation to stop the panic buying, it has continued today throughout some Sydney grocery stores. In Gordon this morning, police were called to a Woolworths after a 54-year-old woman was asked to leave by staff but refused. She then became argumentative with police. At Costco Lidcombe, hundreds of shoppers lined up for several hours to grab their groceries. As the doors opened, many shoppers ran through the aisles to ensure they didn't miss out, and that caused several arguments. So too at Aldi Lidcombe. They actually required 4 police officers to ensure that people were behaving. But interestingly, before the doors opened, those officers were called to an emergency situation elsewhere. 7 News was taken inside to one of 4 Woolworths distribution centres here in Sydney. Now, they operate 24 hours, 7 days a week. Woolies has admitted the new demand is tough on everyone, and while they are keeping up with the demand getting groceries out the door, strict curfews on trucks has meant that the delivery process has been slowed down considerably.
So we're saying to all councils and everybody else, do not worry about those restrictions. If some of us I live near a supermarket, if some of us have to put up with trucks delivering goods in the middle of the night, so be it.
Among the items being stripped from the shelves, paracetamol and Ventolin. Now, these items will be restricted too, limited to 1 per customer.
In addition, pharmacists will be strongly encouraged to limit dispensing and sales of all other medicines to 1 month's supply or unit.
And children's paracetamol will be placed behind pharmacy counters to try and slow down sales. And we will have more on this story tonight, plus Woolworths' new regulations on online shopping.
Forced into isolation, Sydney-siders are finding crafty ways of continuing their daily routine without ever leaving their homes. From shopping to gym classes, they're managing to get it done thanks to social media. Amber Laidler has more. Amber, business owners are stepping up to make their services available online.
Harry the Hirer is an events company that specialises in large-scale corporate productions, weddings and parties, who is now feeling the pinch after the government banned mass gatherings in the wake of COVID-19. They're now one of hundreds of businesses across the country pushing their services online in a bid to remain financially viable through the pandemic.
Through necessity, with more and more people going into isolation, people working from home, being able to offer an online platform for people to do that has been really important for us.
8.
The ban is forcing business owners to really get creative and consider new ways to diversify their offerings so clients can still access services during periods of isolation and social distancing and allow these businesses to keep their doors open. Schools and universities aren't the only organisations moving their classes online. Despite the Chief Medical Officer stating for now the gym was still safe to visit, some fitness facilities have seen thousands cancelling their memberships. So one boutique Sydney gym is now filming all of their classes to make them available online to keep their members moving and their business afloat.
We've been doing online classes and even FaceTime PT sessions still to reach our clients and keep them fit and healthy.
Prenatal and antenatal birthing education is also available on the internet, providing relief for expectant mothers as hospitals cancel classes due to health concerns. Australians are being encouraged to support small local businesses where and when they can to help them survive long term.
Thanks, Amber. As several schools close and more children take class from home, parents are suddenly stepping up to become teachers. But do you know what to do? Experts have some simple tips to make sure your child doesn't fall behind.
Keep the bedtime going, keep the exercise going, get some fresh air, routines are good.
Education experts are also urging high school students, especially those in Year 12, please don't slack off. Tasmania has moved to bring in strict border measures, forcing all interstate travellers to self-isolate for 14 days. There'll be some exceptions, as Michelle Wisby reports.
Tasmania is going in to lockdown, taking a tough new stance and isolating people as they enter the state by the air and by sea. Attempting to stop the spread of coronavirus from midnight on Friday, all arrivals will be forced to self-isolate for 14 days. That not only includes international travellers, but interstate visitors and Tasmanians returning home. The island now officially in a state of emergency.
We know that this is a difficult time for Tasmanians. These are not easy times, and what we know is that Tasmanians do not directly have to be affected by coronavirus to be impacted.
Essential travellers, including healthcare workers, defence personnel and those in the freight industry, will be exempt from isolation. But anyone who breaks the rules is now facing a penalty of nearly $17,000. The last-minute rush now on for people to get to Tasmania before the restrictions come into effect on Saturday.
We wanted to travel. It's our family holiday. We wanted to come here regardless while the borders are open, and we're not fearful of it by any means.
Overnight, 3 more people in Tasmania were diagnosed with the virus, bringing the state's total to 10. That's still a lot less than other states. The Premier says these are the toughest state border controls in Australia, but they are necessary and will now remain in place indefinitely.
Coming up on 7's Afternoon News, a touching story of mateship. Meet the double amputee who went above and beyond to help a mate cope with the coronavirus crisis. How to support the elderly as they face weeks in isolation. And it's 33 degrees in Blacktown. Bryony will have our forecast soon.
As the day breaks,
we have new information on the coronavirus.
The news breaks on Sunrise.
The crisis is putting a major strain on our health system.
It's where you get what's unfolding.
Life is going to continue to change.
It's where the newsmakers turn.
What options realistically are you looking at?
The questions that matter are asked.
How will you ensure passengers follow the rules?
The team Australia trusts are on Sunrise.
Join the millions of people who only use the #1 address in property, realestate.com.au.
If you want big savings, it's not too late to get to the Ford Plate Clearance. For great deals like a 2019 Plate Ranger XLT Auto from just $53,990 drive away. But hurry, once they're gone, they're gone.
It's a race against time, comparing all your flight choices. Sam's visiting each airline site separately and knows how fast special deals can sell out. Cindy's gone straight to Webjet, where she can instantly see all her options, book the best value airfare, get her booking price guaranteed, and still earn frequent flyer points. It's time to make your own way in the world with Webjet.
1 in 3 Aussies live with high cholesterol. So make the change to Flora Proactive with plant sterols proven to lower cholesterol. Delicious Flora Proactive and an active healthy lifestyle can reduce your cholesterol in just 21 days.
One of my favourite things about BetEasy is all of the perks.
Like watching every Sydney race live, so you can watch all the action from the Sydney Autumn Racing Carnival anywhere, anytime. BetEasy, raise your game.
HD, drama, entertainment, now with Netflix included. Get it all for only $59 per month on a 12-month plan. Foxtel, all in one place.
Performance you've never seen before. Safety you've never seen before. This is the SUV you've never seen before. The all-new MG HS.
Create your home dream with the latest edits from Carpet Court. Play it up with different colour combinations like roller blinds in apple fizz and latest hard floors in white oak. Or you can go Euro style with terrazzo hybrid tiles. Match with luxurious carpet in teal. Carpet Court has all the latest carpet, flooring and blinds matched to this season's must-have edits. So you can live the dream. Carpet Court. Dream it, style it, live it.
This is a big target. We know you love a challenge.
Won't want to miss a second. New The Chase. Weekdays at 5 on 7.
There's a lot of fake news on social media spreading incorrect information about the coronavirus. One claim is that anti-inflammatory medication like ibuprofen makes symptoms worse. WHO has slammed the claim, saying there's no evidence to suggest that is correct. And at home, New South Wales health officials say stop panic buying paracetamol. It is not a cure for COVID-19. Yesterday, 7 News brought you the touching story of two mates helping each other out in this crisis. Mike Flynn, a double amputee, rode to the supermarket to pick up supplies for his buddy Pete. Today, the pair is calling on everyone to be kind to one another. Mackline reports.
I came to this supermarket early yesterday morning with my cameraman Lindsay to have a chat to some seniors and people with a disability about what they think of the new community shopping hour. But I never imagined I'd meet a bloke like Mike Flynn. The double amputee had already ridden 5 kilometres on his trike to buy shopping for his best friend Pete Milne, who is seriously ill, so that Pete wouldn't have to leave his home and risk catching coronavirus.
Should be more people like him around, but more able-bodied. Look at him, no legs. And he's still out doing this for me, riding a push bike.
Mate, if the roles reversed, you'd do it for me, mate, okay?
Their story of mateship has since been viewed hundreds of thousands of times and touched the hearts of a nation at a time when our society so desperately needed some good news. So today I caught up with Mike and Pete to see what they made of Australia's response. They both had no idea the story had gone viral, and their reactions are as genuine as they come.
Well, I'm truly humbled, mate. I just did what anyone would do, you know. This is the Australian mateship.
Can you believe what it's become now?
No. When you said 100,000 viewings, why would you want to watch two old people helping each other? To me, that is just normal. That's what humans are supposed to do.
Their message to Australia tonight: be kind.
Great message. Well, there's a lot of bad luck around at the moment, but it could turn around for one lucky Aussie tonight. Powerball has rocketed to $60 million. After 5 weeks of no Division 1 winner, Australians are hoping to cash in. Sydney's 6 p.m. news is coming up with Mark Ferguson. Hello, Mark. What are you working on in the newsroom now?
Yeah, good afternoon. And tonight, more details on the Prime Minister's new travel ban. All non-Australians barred from entering the country starting tomorrow night. All eyes are now on the big banks after the RBA delivered an emergency rate cut. Find out how you'll be affected. Plus, we'll look at what the coronavirus crisis is doing to retirement plans. 7 News was there as paramedics carried passengers off a cruise ship docked in Sydney Harbour. That as the confirmed number of COVID-19 cases in New South Wales climbed past 300. Medicines have now been added to the list of restricted purchases as panic buying stretches to pharmacies. We'll tell you what's included, plus the children's medicine now to be kept behind the counter. And some good news on the way as the cost of petrol plummets. Find out where it's dropped below $1 a litre. And all the details, Sydney 7 News tonight at 6 o'clock.
We will see you then. Thank you, Fergo. It's 4:48, so let's check on Sydney's traffic.
Good afternoon, I'm Alex Strawn in the Gerard Malouf and Partners traffic chopper. We're currently hovering above Ingleburn at the moment. A truck rollover currently has the Brooks Road off-ramp from the motorway closed. You will have to take the Campbelltown Road exit and take a look at the delays. This is the run out of the Cutler VC interchange travelling south. All 3 lanes are under the pace. Seeking compensation? Gerard Malouf and Partners are the leading no-win, no-fee compensation lawyers in Australia. Visit gmp.net.au, the right choice.
As the coronavirus pandemic sweeps the globe, forcing millions into isolation, there are growing concerns for older Australians who rely on visits for their well-being. Brian Seymour joins us now. Brian, what does this mean for the elderly?
It was already dubbed the loneliness epidemic. There are 2.1 million homes in Australia with a single occupant, many of them older Australians, and the most vulnerable in this virus crisis, both physically and mentally. More than 1 million Australians aged over 65 rely on relatives, friends and welfare groups for regular visits at home to maintain social interaction, something crucial to their well-being.
Sitting alone with the TV, that gets boring after a while.
But with many relatives, friends and staff and volunteers at welfare groups being told to stay at home, self-isolate and avoid physical contact, there are real concerns over what that means who rely on those visits.
Social connection is everything for you. If nobody sees you, you don't exist. That's a terrible feeling for people.
40% of those 65 or older who need assistance at home need help with things like healthcare, mobility, self-care and, crucially, companionship. Now, 88% say they're visited regularly by relatives and friends. Men are visited less often than women. A recent study found that increasing social interaction can reduce the risk of an early death by up to 50%. The government has issued no official advice yet on visits to older people in their own homes. Welfare groups say that they need as many people who can to step up and volunteer so they can maintain some person-to-person contact, even if it's through a window or through the online environment.
Thanks very much, Brian. Next in 7's afternoon news, David Brown will be here with your latest weather forecast.
Footy is back, but not as we've ever known it. In unprecedented times, it's set to be unpredictable like never before.
Game on!
The Tigers' premiership heroes return to the MCG. But how will they go without the sound of the Tiger Army? Can the Blues cause an upset?
Yes, sirree!
Then, Bulldogs and Magpies face off in a battle of the young guns. And the Giants look to put their grand final heartache behind them against Geelong. Thursday night footy kicks off in an unprecedented season. Live and free on 7 Mate.
Light and Easy is more than just a great weight loss solution. It also gives you more time to enjoy a healthier life, simply by having delicious, healthy meals delivered to your home. In fact, Light and Easy have just been recognised as Australia's #1 healthy meal delivery service, scoring 5 stars for customer satisfaction as well as taste, variety and freshness. All things you'll find on their new autumn menu. So whether you want to lose weight with their new Jumpstart program or enjoy a healthier life, order from the new autumn menu today.
A hotel. Cool. An apartment. Or a house.
Explore more options with Trivago to find the perfect place for your stay. Hotel Trivago.
All Castle Homes build big homes like the Big Banner B40 with up to 7 bedrooms from $329,995, including standard site costs and basics.
Yes, it's the first word of any new discovery. Telfast helps you say yes with fast, non-drowsy hay fever allergy relief. Turn a half-hearted yes into an all-in yes. Telfast. Live your life.
Hi, Chris. As one of our Care Super members, let's go see your super at work. Hold on. I'll show you some of the opportunities and possibilities that are being explored for you. Your super should work as hard as you do, so we're making sure it does.
At Spotlight, life's what you make it. With 40% off all Tontine pillows, Coup 400 thread count sheets, it's 50% off. And 40% off Everest and Brampton house bedding. So you can throw it, arrange it and rearrange it for less. Sale on now. At Spotlight, it's what you make it.
Sports HD, drama, entertainment, now with Netflix included. Get it all for only $59 per month on a 12-month plan. Foxtel, all in one place.
I love travelling and I love adventure. Knowing Coda Insurance will cover me gives me total peace of mind.
At Coda Insurance, we have no age limits on our single trip travel insurance policies. Call Coda Insurance today.
This is a big target. We know you love a challenge. You won't be able to amble. Your 2 minutes starts now.
Rock, USA. Singapore?
Correct.
You won't want to miss a second. New The Chase. Weekdays at 5 on 7.
In testing times, it's important to know who you can trust. That's why nobody knows Sydney like 7 News.
Welcome back. It's time to get the latest weather forecast now with David Brown. Another beautiful day, Brownie.
Yeah, the sunshine just keeps on coming, doesn't it, Anne? And look, some good news, it's far from over. In fact, tomorrow, can you believe it, we're expecting a temperature somewhere in the mid-30s right across the city base. I think it's time to grab that beach towel. Today's top, though, 32.5 degrees. By the way, that's 10 degrees on the warm side of normal. As we look at current conditions around our state, you'll see it's sitting on 33 degrees in Wagga. Canberra, clear skies, 27 degrees. A little bit cooler in the Gong. It's sunny and 25 degrees. From the satellite, clear sky right across our state at the moment. Upstream, though, this is the cool change we've been keeping an eye on now for the last couple of days. It's a dry change, but as the system sweeps across our state, it'll start to draw some hot air from the interior all the way towards the coast. This cool southerly should reach us around about 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Nationwide tomorrow, sunny in Melbourne, of course, cooler in that southwesterly airstream, although it's dry for most of the day. As I mentioned, 22 degrees. For Brisbane, sunny and around 30 degrees. Hobart, though, as we head right down to the south, rain at times and around 20 degrees. For our city, hot tomorrow and it'll be warm very early in the day. Our top 36 degrees, which is around about 11 degrees above average. Let's move on to that 7-day outlook. It's dry across the weekend. That cool change, of course, coming through tomorrow night, but it's sunny and it's warming up a little on Sunday. That's the latest weather. More at 6 a.m.
Many thanks, Brownie. And that is Sydney's 4 p.m. news for this Thursday. Mark Ferguson will bring you 7 News at 6 o'clock. I'm Ann Sanders. Stay with 7 Now for the Chase Australia. Thanks for joining us. Hope you have a great night.
We've got 3 kids. Every decision we make is based around
what we think is best for our family. I absolutely love being a dad. You just get to do fun stuff.
He gives them so much love and he's active and also very attractive. Look at that face, it's really good looking. He does a lot of modelling.
Really?
I like to cut out his picture and put it on the fridge.
What a good-looking bunch you are.
Sexy.
A model dad with a huge heart.
We're in this competition so that we can have a beautiful house that we love living in and a house that our kids are going to just remember as being their childhood home.
Just wait till they see their dream family home.
Oh!
Wow.
A transformation so incredible, it won't just change their house.
Oh my God, so beautiful.
It'll change their lives.
Oh my God, look at this kitchen.
Is this really our home? I'm so overwhelmed.
And give them a future they only ever dreamed of.
Oh, are you excited?
This is the reason that we went on this show, to give the kids something awesome. So thank you.
Thank you so much. Oh, I'm crying because Mummy's so happy.
New house rules, high stakes. This April on 7.
These four strangers must work as a team to win thousands of dollars, but standing in their way is one of the sharpest minds